Once upon a time, two young men visited a sage who was known for his ability to solve difficult problems. The sage politely welcomed his two visitors who needed his advice. Both were polite young men, and each insisted that the other should go first and ask his question. But after some discussion, they discovered that their questions are essentially the same. So they settled on speaking with the sage at the same time. One of the young men asked, Guruji, our problems are similar. We are in job and we both low-level employees, and we are being treated badly at work. We get no respect at all, and our employers constantly push us hard in work and downcast us. Can you please advise us if we should quit our jobs or shall we continue? Guruji thought for a moment and then closed his eyes and meditated for a while. The two young men waited patiently until finally the sage opened his eyes and smilingly he gave them the answer in simple 5 words: only a bowl of rice. The two young men thanked the Guruji, bowed down, and departed from there. They contemplated the answer as they walked back to their respective places. After a while, one of them broke the silence and said, "That was interesting. What do you think the sage meant?" The other one was thoughtful. He said, "Well, it is fairly obvious that the bowl of rice represents our daily meals." "I agree," said the first young man. "I think he is telling us that job is nothing more than a means to make a living." The other man said, "Yes, when you come right down to it, that's all we get out of the job, our daily meal." After some time, they went their separate ways. While one of them continued working at the same place, the other one went to his office, submitted his resignation letter immediately upon his reaching, and he went his home to the countryside and took up the farming. After few years, this young man achieved considerable success as a farmer. He used what he had learned in the city to import high-quality seeds. The fruits and vegetables from the seeds grew become known as the best in the region. He enjoyed not only great profits, but also his reputation as an expert in his region. On the other side, the young man who remained at work also did fairly well at his workplace. It was as if he had become a different person after the sage's advice. He took on difficult tasks and demonstrated his ability to handle adversity. He rose through the ranks and received one promotion after another until he became a top employee of the company. One day, the two of them met again by chance. Once caught up with one another, they realized that they had taken very different decisions based on the exact same advice from the same sage. Today, they were both wealthy and happy. But which decision was the correct one? The employee was puzzled. The sage said the same thing to both of us, and we both heard the same words. And he inquired from the other person, the farmer, "Why did you quit?" The farmer was also puzzled. The farmer said, "I understood Guruji's words immediately. The job was nothing more than the means to get my daily meals. So why to force myself to stay in a horrible situation just for a bowl of rice?" So for me, quitting was obviously the right thing to do. And he asked the other person, the employee, "Why did you stay back?" And the other person said, "I also think it should be obvious." The employee said, "The job meant nothing more than a bowl of rice. So why was I getting so worked up over it?" And further, he said, "As soon as I understood it, I realized there is no need for me to get upset. I did not have to take up the abuse heaped on me personally. So of course, I stayed. Isn't that what Guruji's meant?" Now I am completely confused. The farmer shook his head. Did he mean for us to take your path or my path? And they said, "Let us go and see him again to get to the bottom of this." Once again, they visited to the same sage and explained the reason for their visit. This time they said, "As you can see, Guruji, we would really like to know the real meaning of your advice which you gave us all those years ago. Can you share with us some insights?" Again, the sage closed his eyes, and the two men waited patiently as before. After some time, the sage opened his eyes and gave them his answer, again in 5 words, only a difference of thought. As you can understand from this video, the advice gave to those friends was the same, but the two different people draw different meaning from the same words based on their mindset, their needs, and available resources they may had. Like one had the option to go back to hometown and start farming. So we also draw different means to same words. And how do we react to same situation based on our mental state in this moment, our needs and other choices we have. But whatever decision you take, make sure you do not regret later. If you regret later, it creates downward path for you. Rather, appreciate that you took the right decision in that moment based on your situation and your needs, and move in life. No matter what direction you will take, you will eventually reach to your point of happiness. Each has his own way, so choose your way and reach your happiness. Everything changes with the time.